Do you want to talk about Solo Leveling?
Yeah, I would love to talk. When do I not want to talk about solo leveling? I love solo leveling, guys. And would you believe it? The anime started.
It
We
has. It has indeed. I believe episode 3 drops today at the
It
time
does.
of recording.
Yep, it should
Ha-
already be out, I think.
Ooh. Um, but what are your first impressions so far? Like, from what you've seen, or, you know?
I think it's very faithful
Mm.
to, without going into any story
Hmm.
or anything. I think it's very, very faithful to the manga, not more manhwa. Um, the I think what did I say? I think episode 2 ends exactly where chapter 20 does. I think I
Yeah.
might be wrong. That I might actually be adding a digit to that. Um, I can confirm that though because I was trying to explain it to a friend of ours.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's pretty much. I thought that there was going to be a much more. I thought there was going to be much more divergence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a lot of talk. There was a lot of talk about how the anime was going to differ
Hmm.
from the manhwa, and I mean, it could still happen. It could still happen in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Um, we're still very early on. Just to confirm before I forget, it goes up to episode 10, the very end of chapter 10.
Okay.
Um, but so far, it's exactly as I remember the manhwa being. Even maybe it's diverted in some small ways. Obviously, they've shown some characters in passing that we wouldn't have seen at this point, but I think that that's the only
Yeah.
difference so far. So, and it's been great. It's been the voice acting is great. The art style is really good.
Hmm.
Um, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it progresses. And
Yeah.
that makes me happy as someone who's been really excited about this. Like I've been
Mm.
really excited for Solo Leveling to get its anime,
Yeah.
especially after it got announced. And so far, so good.
Excellent. Yeah. I agree with you. Like you said, there was a lot of speculation when it was first announced how much it would deviate, because I think there was early rumors or reports that it was going to be based in Japan and
Yeah,
they were going to use like Japanese names and not necessarily the Korean names and stuff. So yeah, it feels a lot more faithful than I was expecting. And like you said, I don't know. I don't think it impacts the pacing that much, but they've definitely interject certain elements early on in this.
yeah.
I guess to make it slightly more
They're trying to
filling.
streamline it, aren't they? A little bit. I think that they're
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
trying to give the viewer more information
yeah,
earlier on, so that you've got a better idea of how the world works.
and planting those seeds early as well.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of her name now, but the S rank hunter with the blonde hair. Um,
Chahe.
I think so. Yeah, like again, just 2 second cameo in the first episode, like getting away
Yeah,
from crowds and stuff.
you get to see her
So
being a badass. You get to see what's going on the island where the current dungeon break is happening, which obviously is
yes,
something that
yeah,
doesn't happen until much further down the line.
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
actually
yeah.
learn about that, so you get to see a little hint of that, of what's to
Mm,
come. Um, yeah, you get to meet you get to see a couple of other hunters that you wouldn't typically see until a little bit later on. It's really really fun, really nice way of doing it. I'm not displeased by it.
yeah, and the other thing I think I have to give credit to is that A1 Pictures really kept the not like for like, but they really kind of adapted that art style. Not
Oh
too
yeah,
much that it doesn't look the same, but it still has essence of it, if you know what I mean, as well
yeah,
as like the effects that they used in certain ways, like healing magic and the color palette and stuff. So it
yeah,
feels like it definitely feels very similar, but not too dissimilar, if that makes any
yeah.
sense.
A1's done absolutely smashing, like
Mm.
cracking job on this. So
Mm. I'm more interested to see where they would finish the season. Like, there's so many points they could, and I'm just kind of like,
I
where
know exactly where it's going to end.
do you?
Yes, I do. And I know that based entirely on the opening sequence. The opening sequence shows pretty much exactly where it's going to end.
Ah, okay.
We can talk about that after the show because I'm not going to do any. I'm not going to solo level spoil for the anime viewers and stuff. But if I'm not sure how much of the manhwa you've read, but if you've read any amount of it, then you, from watching the opening sequence, you should know exactly where about it'll end.
Okay. I Okay, we'll
We can
talk after.
talk
'Cause
about this after the
because
record.
I think I know where you mean, but yeah.
Yeah.
Really good. If you're listening or watching, let us know your thoughts on Solo Leveling. Have you started watching it? Have you started reading it? Ooh.
Do both.
Do
both.
both. Yeah. Let us know. We'd be interested to know your thoughts as well. And yeah, definitely the hottest thing of the season, I'd say.
For me, definitely. Like it'd be a wild understatement to say that I wasn't extremely excited by this. And when I started reading Solo Leveling, I read Solo Leveling. I read it as fast as I could up until it was up to date, and then every single week it was religiously jumping on
Wow.
and reading it. So
I love that style of just kind of scrolling through it. Like yeah, it's a whole new experience. Obviously, the color palette and everything else, it being a manhwa, but yeah, it was such a new experience. I think.
yeah, and what you'll see now, and I think we've joked about this in other conversations like several times, but like Solo Leveling has really set the bar for manhwa of this genre. You'll find that like so many manhwa are trying to capitalize on the same sort of like story and same formula. And whenever you go into the comments on any of these sites where you can read manhwa like online, it's always like, is this the next Solo Leveling? Is this as good as Solo Leveling? How does this compare to Solo Leveling? People are using it like Solo Leveling as the gold standard for this sort of story. So I really hope it does well as an anime.
Absolutely.